Assalamualaikum, my name is Auni Patricia binti Sukarnai. Today I would like to present the introduction of our article review, which is the title of the article is Understanding the Concept of Riba in Fi al-Muamalat, Challenges in the Modern Global Economy System. The article was writing by Mukhlis and Tramlam. The journal used for this article is Ryan, Journal of Islamic Education, and it was published in the years 2025. The article discusses the concept of riba in Islamic financial and explain the challenges of applying Islamic financial principles in today's modern economic system. The author also highlight how riba affect society and why Muslims should avoid practice related to interest-based transaction. Next, I will explain the main research question and objective of this study. First, this study confused on the three main research question. The first question is about the real concept of riba in fiqh al-muamalat. The second question discusses the challenge of avoiding riba is the modern global economy. And the last, the study asks how Sharia principle can be applied in today's financial system. Besides that, this study also has several objectives. The first objective is to explain the concept and types of riba in Islam. The second objective, which is the analysis, the challenge faced in avoiding riba in the global economy. The third objective is to evaluate the effort made by Islamic financial institutions in handling riba issue.
Hi, my name is Nasafia Hamiza binti Muhammad Roslan, my number 3825A4895. So, my slide is about summary. Summary, what is the article that we have chosen to run our website that we have done. And I will choose the article by Society and Kofsa because why Society and Kofsa have a real business setting how Musyarakah Mutan Kisah is done in real life. How this happened in real life because the author used an implementation study because they want to see how this cooperative help by people by asset actually follow the rule of Islamic finance. Other than that, they also want to see the process is simple within how the cooperative and the customer share the cost to buy an asset together. How? Because the customer pay it back in money installment, and as they pay, customer share of the ownership goes up and the cooperative share goes down. This continue until the customer finally own the asset 100%. So, this most important finding is that this cooperative practice is also fully correct according to the 2008 fatwa. It's a real fair partnership. In conclusion, the paper show the Mutanashka Muska is a fantastic choice for financing because it follows Sharia rules perfectly. Stay far away from riba and is fair for everyone involved. It's a great example of how modern Islamic finance can support the community efficiently. That's all from the summary. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Nadirah binti Umar Rashid. My number matric A25A4915. For the critique section, I will explain the strength of the article as well as the logic and agreement represented by the author. One of the main strengths of this article is the author used a wide range of reference such as classical fiqh books, academic journal, and international finance documents like IMF and World Bank reports. This makes the article more comprehensive and relevant. Besides that, the writing is clear and easy to understand because the author explained the concept of riba and the challenge of the modern economy system in a well-organized manner. The article is also relevant to current issue because it relates riba to modern banking system, national debt, and the development of Sharia fintech. Next, in terms of logic and agreement, the article presents strong agreement support by the view of scholars such as Sheikh Taqi Usmani and Yusuf Al-Qaradawi, who state the modern bank interests fall under the category of riba. The author also used real world examples such as the IMF and World Bank to show how an interest-based finance system can create debt burden and economic inequality for developing countries. In addition, the author not only critiqued the conventional finance system, but also suggests several solutions such as a development of Islam bank, Sukuk, and Sharia fintech. Therefore, I believe that this article successfully provides logical, clear, and relevant argument relate to the current global economy situation.
We move to the weakness of this article. The first one is the article focused excessively on religious explanation rather than economic discussion, failing to clearly explain how an interest-free financial system practically functions into the economy. Academic research in Islamic finance must balance Sharia principle with the contemporary economic analysis. If the discussion remains purely theoretical or theological, without addressing actual market mechanism, the framework loses its practical utility for economists and industry policymakers. Second one is the study relies heavily on qualitative, laborious, and descriptive discussion, completely lacking empirical data, case studies, interviews, survey, or financial statistics to strongly substantiate its claim about the negative effect of riba. Without primary data like interview or surveys, or secondary data like financial metrics, the argument remains purely speculative. A weak methodology lacking empirical evidence diminishes the validity and reliability of the research finding in the scientific community. Last point is the author relies on broad, generalized statement by claiming that interest is the primary cause of the social inequality and microeconomic problems, but failed to back up these heavy claims with rigorous studies, citation, or detailed data. In scholarly writing, any causal claim regarding massive socio-economic impacts must be supported by reputable literature or empirical data. Without proper citation and evidence, the argument appears biased, weak, and unconvincing.
My name is Nur Shazmi binti Muhammad Faizan. My number matrix is A25A4-04.
After discussing the strength and weakness of the article, I would also like to highlight some alternative perspectives regarding this issue. Although the author strongly disagree with the conventional interest-based financial system, some economists believe that conventional banking is still necessary for economic growth and financial stability. This is because interest can encourage investment and business activities. Moreover, some people argue that modern bank interest is regulated by the government, so it is different from the exploitative usually practiced in the past. There are also critics who believe that certain Islamic financial products function similarly to conventional banking system. In addition, economic problems in developing countries may not be caused by riba alone, but also by corruption, weak governance, and poor economic policies. Therefore, some scholars suggest that combining Islamic and conventional financial system could be a more practical solution for the global economy today.
This article relates to fiqh muamalat because it discusses economic justice, halal and haram transactions, and the prohibition of riba. It also connects traditional Islamic concepts like riba al-fad and riba al-nasi'ah with modern banking and finance. Besides that, the article supports fairness and welfare through maqasid al-sharia and highlights the importance of ijtihad and solving modern financial issues. They also explains the conflict between sharia values and interest-based financial system. This slide explains the significance and implication for theory. First, it emphasizes that the prohibition of riba promotes justice and ethics in financial transaction. Next, it shows how classical Islamic rulings can still be applied in modern institutions like banks and global finance. The article also strengthens Islamic economics as a relevant and dynamic framework in today's society. Besides that, it proves that fiqh muamalat remains important in contemporary issues and discussions. Lastly, it encourages people to explore Islamic alternatives to conventional capitalism. Practical applications promote Sharia compliant system, which is Islamic finance encourage financial systems that follow Sharia principles such as fairness, transparency, and avoiding riba, which is interest. So Islamic banking is Islamic banks that provide banking services that are based on profit sharing and ethical investment instead of interest-based transactions. The Sukuk is an Islamic financial certificate that works as an alternative conventional bonds and is based on real assets. Takaful is an Islamic insurance system where participants help and protect each other through shared contributions, and Islamic fintech uses technology to provide Sharia compliant financial services such as digital payments, crowdfunding, and online banking. Key challenges is dominance of conventional interest systems. Conventional financial systems are still widely used, making Islamic finance less dominant in many countries. Limited Islamic financial infrastructure is some countries still lack Islamic banks, investment platforms, and financial institutions of institutions that fully support Islamic finance. And low public awareness of Islamic finance is many people still do not fully understand the benefits and principles of Islamic finance.
In this article have three implications, which is social inequality and wealth disparity. Riba exploits vulnerable individuals and increases the economic divide between those who own capital and who borrow. The second one is worldwide economic volatility. An interest-based financial system can contribute to financial crisis and instability in global markets, affecting economies around the world. The third one is perpetual foreign debt. Developing countries often become trapped in continuous debt obligations with organizations such as IMF and the World Bank. This ongoing debt makes it difficult for these countries to achieve economic stability and independence. Therefore, Islam encourages a fair and ethical financial system that is free from riba. This slide discusses about potential future research in Islamic finance. The first one, fintech and blockchain advancement. Future research can focus on how smart contract and blockchain technology can be applied in Islamic finance to improve transparency, efficiency, and security in financial transactions. Second, sustainable and productive economic framework. Research can develop financing tools for SME and investment that not only support economic growth but also promote environmental sustainability. Okay, the last one is enhancement of literacy and education. More studies can be done on ways to improve public understanding of Islamic finance through better education and improvements in the Muhammadan curriculum. Therefore, continuous research and innovation are necessary to strengthen the future of Islamic finance.
Overall, this article emphasized that the concept of riba in fiqh al-mu'amalat has an absolute legal basis and its prohibition aims to uphold economic justice. Other than that, the author also state that interest-based system only benefits capital owners without fair risk sharing. Therefore, as Muslims, we must maintain the principle of Sharia to ensure that our economic change is clean and pleasing to Allah.